Many scientists have not confined themselves to a single field of study. For instance, Isaac Newton not only discovered gravity but also made significant contributions to optics by developing the reflecting telescope. Blaise Pascal is known both for his work in hydrostatics and for inventing one of the earliest mechanical calculators, the Pascaline. Albert Einstein, famous for his theory of relativity, also worked on practical technologies, such as a refrigerator without moving parts. This ability to move between different disciplines was not just a curiosity but often a necessity. In past centuries, the separation between pure and applied science was much less pronounced than it is today. Many scientific discoveries directly led to new technologies, and vice versa. Julius Robert Oppenheimer was born on April 22, 1904, in New York City, into a Jewish family. His father, Julius Oppenheimer, was a successful businessman who had emigrated from Germany. His mother, Ella Friedman, was an artist. The Oppenheimer family was wealthy and culturally refined, providing young Robert with a rich intellectual environment. Oppenheimer's childhood was not without challenges. His younger brother died tragically in a car accident, causing his parents to become extremely protective. Robert was homeschooled until he was 9 years old, which limited his social interactions and contributed to his introspective and solitary nature. Oppenheimer's education was extraordinary from the start. He demonstrated a prodigious intellect and a passion for learning far beyond his age. When he finally began attending school, he was already far ahead of his peers. His mother died when he was 9 years old, a loss that had a profound impact on his life. Oppenheimer entered Harvard University in 1922, where he initially focused on chemistry but quickly expanded to other disciplines. He graduated in 3 years, a remarkable feat, while also studying French literature, mathematics, philosophy, and physics. His academic versatility and exceptional performance made him a notable figure among his peers. After Harvard, Oppenheimer went to the University of Cambridge, where he worked at the prestigious Cavendish Laboratory. However, his interest lay not in experimental physics but in theoretical physics. He then transferred to the University of Göttingen in Germany, where he studied with some of the most prominent physicists of the time, including Max Born. In 1927, he earned his doctorate with a thesis on quantum mechanics. Oppenheimer made significant contributions to theoretical physics. He worked on condensed matter theory, quantum mechanics, and astrophysics. One of his most notable contributions was the prediction of neutron stars and black holes. He showed that a sufficiently massive star, after exhausting its nuclear fuel, would collapse under its own gravity, resulting in a black hole. These contributions were fundamental to the development of modern astrophysics and cosmology. His work helped establish quantum mechanics as a robust field and open new pathways for theoretical exploration of the universe. With the outbreak of World War II and the threat of Axis powers, there was a race to develop new weapons. In 1942, the United States launched the Manhattan Project with the goal of building an atomic bomb before the Nazis. General Leslie Groves was chosen to lead the project and, surprisingly, selected Oppenheimer as the scientific director. Although he had no prior experience managing large technological projects, Oppenheimer proved to be an effective leader. He assembled a team of brilliant scientists in Los Alamos, New Mexico, and created a collaborative and creative environment. Under his leadership, the team developed the atomic bomb in record time. The culmination of the Manhattan Project was the Trinity test, conducted on July 16, 1945, in the Alamogordo Desert, New Mexico. The success of the test demonstrated the devastating power of the new weapon. Oppenheimer was deeply shaken upon witnessing the explosion, quoting a passage from the Bhagavad Gita, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." In August 1945, the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, leading to Japan's surrender and the end of World War II. While these events were seen as necessary to end the war, They also opened a debate on the ethics of using nuclear weapons. After the war, Oppenheimer opposed the development of the hydrogen bomb, an even more powerful weapon. He believed that the proliferation of nuclear weapons posed an existential threat to humanity. His opposition led to tensions with other scientists and government officials. During the McCarthy era, Oppenheimer was accused of communist sympathies and espionage. In 1954, he was subjected to a security hearing that resulted in the revocation of his security clearance. Despite the lack of conclusive evidence against him, the hearing damaged his career and reputation. After losing his security clearance, Oppenheimer dedicated himself to promoting peace and nuclear arms control. He advocated for international cooperation to prevent the proliferation of nuclear weapons and worked to raise awareness of the dangers of these weapons. In the 1960s, his reputation began to be rehabilitated. In 1963, President Lyndon B. Johnson awarded him the Enrico Fermi Award in recognition of his contributions to science and the national security of the United States. Although it was a symbolic gesture, it did not erase the injustices Oppenheimer had suffered. Oppenheimer's legacy is complex. He was instrumental in the development of theoretical physics and nuclear energy, but he was also at the center of one of the 20th century's most profound ethical dilemmas. His work opened new frontiers for science but also brought new dangers. Oppenheimer's involvement in the Manhattan Project raises questions about the responsibility of scientists in developing potentially destructive technologies. He is an example of how scientific discoveries can be used for both good and evil. Despite his contributions to the war, Oppenheimer spent the latter half of his life advocating for peace and arms control. His shift in perspective illustrates the moral complexity that many scientists face when considering the implications of their work. J. Robert Oppenheimer was a key figure in the 20th century, both as a brilliant scientist and as a controversial figure in the context of war and peace. His life and work reflect the great hopes and deep fears associated with scientific advancement. He is remembered for his contributions to science and his ethical reflections on the use of technology. His story serves as a powerful reminder of the need to balance scientific progress with careful consideration of its ethical and social consequences. Thank you for watching this video. If you found the content interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos on these and other fascinating topics. To the next.